tubes. It's another Friday. Got something new this week. Also got some bourbon. So I picked myself up a new axe. It's sitting back there. It's also green. Go figure. It is, however, unlike anything else I own. This is turn that thing off. My new Gretsch 2622 in Torino green. It's got the Bigsby Tremolo, which is pretty interesting. The last guitar I had that had, back and forth action like this was an old BC Rich Warlock I had back in the day. But, this is a semi-hollow body. Supposed to give it more resonance. I don't know. It's green through and through, all the way around. It's got nice white accents around it. It's got, decent chrome pieces. I really like the look of this overall. Plays really well. Action's nice. The tuning forks or tuning pegs, tuning fork. They're your standard nickel. It's nothing crazy. They're not, like some sort of high-level carat silver or anything. It tunes really well. It's like it all runs really smoothly. I like the inlays are big and thick and full all the way down the neck, so you're not trying to look for just a dot, which is great. It does have the standard dots. It's a standard fare guitar. It comes with standard nuts, whatever. The cool thing about the Bigsby here is like it's actually screwed in to the bottom of it. It's not something that just clamps on. Some of them do that. Complaints? Yeah, I don't like the color of these knobs. Now, as far as knob selection goes, you've got a global. This is. Hang on, guys. Let's get some more of this. All right. So you got global volume here, and you got global tone down here. And each one of these controls the volume for the pickups. And there's a pickup selector. It's kind of goofy, though. If it's set in the middle and you turn either one of these all the way down to 0, why you would, I don't know. The whole thing goes out. So, I'm going to do an example. So this is set on, both. It's right here in the middle. If I turn the bottom pickup all the way off, gone. Now, flip it up top, it's there. I'm sure this is just a wiring decision somewhere. You probably never want to turn one all the way off without switching it, so it's not really a horrible problem. It's just something odd that I noticed. I don't think the Les Paul does that, but this Gretsch does. Overall it sounds pretty good. I'm still trying to get it dialed in and tweaked a little bit for my setup, but so it's a little loud. And turn this down some. Overdrives compared to the piezo pickups I have in the Oscar Schmidts and the other things. All back up top. And the global tone control is actually pretty interesting. You can be very muted and things, or you can, depending on the amp and what kind of crunch you're going through, and it changes it some. It's not drastic. But, so I said, other complaints, and it's like, I don't like the color of these knobs. I'll probably get those changed to either straight black or something that matches more of the chrome look in here. I've got the same complaint with the Les Paul. I don't know what the design decision really is when guitar manufacturer's like, well, we need to set this off somewhere. Let's make all the knobs some other random color. I'm like, it's just not me. So I'll probably replace those knobs whenever I get around to it. Hopefully they can glue them on. It's going to be some gigantic pain to do. Shouldn't be, but do also, this, I really like the tremolo design of this Bigsby. Some people complain that, it's kind of hard to keep in tune, but anytime you're dive bombing on something, it's gonna go a little weird. I keep knocking this thing on here too. So there's a spring here, and it works sort of both ways. I mean, if you so I mean it's got a pretty good lock nut, but it seems to sit flat. Like the spring is only there to keep it in one single area. The whole, the way the strings go in, they go in from this area, wrap around, then under this piece, and then across this bridge, and all the way back up. So it's when you're pulling this, the entire set of strings rolls one way or the other. Versus the way that our Floyd Rose did was the whole bridge is kind of just that floating piece kind of went up and down a little bit, and those are just a huge pain to keep in tune as well. I mean, this one might be nicer if it had some locking nuts on it. I don't know that you really need it with this Bigsby or not. With a Floyd Rose, you certainly do, because any of that tension you're putting here on these, if your tuning keys are not good and tight, dive bombing and is gonna it's gonna stretch the strings out a little bit. So it'll probably takes a little bit of tuning and just making sure those strings get where they need to be. But I like the design. This is unlike anything else I've ever owned. Pretty happy with it. So we'll see how this goes. I'll probably do some videos playing with it, making some other stuff. I mean, I always play the standard Pink Floyd, like. Or if you're doing like. So it's got a really good tone to it. Of course, I'm always running it through an effects pedal and things like that, so it doesn't really make a lot of difference. You can make that terrible Strat copy back there can sound just as good as anything else with a good effects processor. So, but overall, if I played it without anything, like just running it right into the board, sounds clean. There's not a whole lot of noise to it. Pretty good guitar overall. I gotta say I'm happy. So we'll do a little bit of playing around. Sheets of empty canvas, untouched sheets gray. They lay all spread before me as somebody once did. Oh, five horizons. As I hit wrong buttons everywhere. Oh, that's awesome. I just now unfavorited that thing on the Voice Live. So, well, here's my my little personal review of this Gretsch 2622 in Torino green. Love it. You should pick one up. It's a pretty fun guitar, and design wise, weight wise, I mean, it weighs like half of what the Les Paul does, which is amazing. As soon as I picked it up, I'm like, whoa! For such a big guitar, this thing doesn't weigh anything. So, like it, love it. Probably doing some more playing with it. So, but don't forget, always have bourbon.